So I made a moderately successful video for my wants and hopes for the GTA 6 single player, now let's talk about multiplayer. They've had a lot of good ideas that I think were poorly implemented. I'll get to heists later, I know that's a big topic. I liked the creator, but it somehow isn't better than Halo's Forge mode. And I mean like Halo 3 Forge too. The camera is exceedingly annoying, the menus need work. Also, it baffles me how they never let us create our own missions. I would play the heck out of user-made missions. I liked some of the major updates like businesses and motorcycle clubs, but... Okay, here's the thing with GTA Online. They gave us all this cool stuff, but then made it annoyingly difficult to use and enjoy. Like they made you jump through a lot of hoops just to access the features, or made it too expensive, incentivizing you to buy their shark cards, which are named very appropriately, I'll give them that. And then there's the griefers. Some business activities could turn into PvP matches within the open world. You know what? Great idea in theory. It is, in theory, an innovative and engaging idea. In practice, people had overpowered vehicles that could easily wreck a small-time player right out of the gate. And the business owners would most likely be outnumbered. That's why we had to do, like, solo public games in order to do anything. Now, I think there still is a solution to this problem that is fair to everyone. I have a few ideas I'll talk about now. Halo Reach had an interesting concept with psych profiles, which was essentially a way to decide what kind of players you wanted to be matched with. You could set it to quiet or talkative, polite or trash-talking, play for fun or play competitively, that sort of thing. GTA should 100% incorporate that. They almost did with the mental state feature, but that was poorly implemented. I preferred the psych profile solution. That said, people can still lie. That's always a risk. So here's solution number 2. Designated lobbies. So instead of everyone sharing random open worlds, you can join a world specifically for doing business activities, so everyone jumps in with the understanding that this is what they're doing. Combined with the psych profile, I think this works, because then you can either be like, I'll leave you alone if you leave me alone, or you are all under the agreement that you will try to compete with one another. Obviously, griefers are gonna grief. Because the advanced destructive vehicles are sort of a reward for players, it would be very hard to restrict them in the open world. There's gotta be a better way to balance these features so people actually enjoy the game. I get the other goals too. Competitive play is obviously important, but if people are just being crushed by players who either bought shark cards or grinded like crazy, then that's not enjoyable. Now while we're talking about the open world, let's talk about activities a minute. They had some stuff like movies, which sucked. You know what I liked? In GTA 4, the Comedy Club. We needed more of that. And I'm pretty sure it was planned at some point, but they never got around to it. But yeah, it would be fun to do these with friends. Especially if we could have some online exclusive comments on top of the ones appearing in single player. Good to laugh with friends, you know? They had fairground rides on the pier that sucked. They had tennis and arm wrestling, which sucked. They had golf, which was surprisingly awesome. And here's where I'll say I desperately want a golf option in the creator. Can you imagine the courses people could make? And you can set it anywhere on the map you want? Guys, come on, make this a reality. Also, mini-golf on its own could just be cool, but I imagine that requires more programming, and I'd rather they just spend that time doing something else. A golf creator could probably swing that on its own anyway, so there wouldn't be a need for Rockstar to do that. And back to other activities, I sincerely do want bowling and pool like GTA 4. Fun mini-games with friends are a good addition, but they didn't let you do that in multiplayer. I liked the option to rob convenience stores and stuff. That was more fun than most of the heists, which again I'll talk about soon. It also seems like they planned for you to be able to rob banks in the open world, because they had locations like these, but it was never implemented. I can't imagine why. So yeah, Rockstar, please give us more of what we like, streamline it, expand on it in ways that aren't inconvenient. You should know the drill by now. Also, if I can request, I'd like to be able to enter burger shots and Cluckin' Bells again. I don't know why that's important to me. Now besides the open world, let's talk about missions like heists. Before we get to the heists proper, I want to say, they got progressively more wacky as time went on. I can understand the decision, but I'd prefer in the future if they try to keep things more grounded. Like, I didn't mind the Doomsday heist concept. In fact, I think it was a good idea. But they added these flying cars with missiles and... Look, I get it from a sandbox perspective, it's cool and fun, but... like I said earlier, it gave griefers an unfair advantage. And also, I just prefer the more grounded story. Like, if these things weren't canon, I might not care. But I like the direction of GTA being satirical without being otherworldly like Saints Row. Okay, now heists. They were too structured. They promised things like careful planning and cooperation. That's not what they gave us. There was one way they wanted us to do it, everyone had their own role, everything was scripted. Like, if you want a co-op campaign like that, fine. But I think what people wanted, at least what I wanted, were heists where we could decide how to approach it and not rely overly on scripting. Plans going wrong organically and needing to adapt. I don't think that is significantly harder to code. They had co-op missions where we could basically do exactly that, just on a smaller scale. They had free mode jobs like the CEO things where we could do basically that. So basically, Rockstar, if you want a co-op campaign, I'm all for it. Just advertise it as that. Either give us more freedom in tackling our objectives there, or make heists a completely separate thing where we can really decide how to proceed. Like with those free mode operations you gave us, just on a slightly larger scale. Moving on from heists, we need better game modes and a better menu to select them. A lot of these were fun, but I think it would be smart to get back to basics. Cops and crooks, chopper versus chopper. Maybe an all-out war game mode where people can use whatever vehicles and weapons they want. Maybe make that its own lobby, like the business thing I mentioned earlier? I don't know, I'm just spitballing. But we got some other stuff to talk about. One other miscellaneous hope I have for the game is that the art directors go back to preschool to learn what colors are. Because I think it's been fixed now, but there was a point early on in GTA Online where certain bottoms and tops that were supposedly the same color didn't quite match. How does that even happen in the game design process? Also, gasoline green? Guys, this is teal. Teal. So that, combined with the fact the menu has way too many options, I think a better solution would just be to have a color wheel or something. That may cause other technical problems, so maybe for clothes specifically, you could choose the type of clothing and then see the available colors and designs, instead of scrolling through 50 different colors for the same pants before you can see the next pair. Let's see, what else? Better customization for apartments and clubhouses and stuff. Oh, something I forgot to mention in the first video is about the map. So in GTA 4, I was kind of wishing for some kind of wilderness and or bigger suburbs. GTA 5 fixed that, but I think it kind of sucked. Paleto Bay was noticeably small. The number of houses did not match the number of cops and citizens the area had. You can get away with that in cities, but not here. But the bigger crime is that mountains dominated the wilderness. There was a forest that wasn't worth exploring because it was practically vertical, and the desert was dirty. It made me not want to be there even more than I already don't want to be in a desert. And listen, I know the GTA 5 map was significantly larger than GTA 4, but Liberty City certainly felt a lot bigger than Los Santos, which is kind of what matters more. And there was no getting away from the fact that the GTA 5 map was clearly an island. Obviously Liberty City was a couple islands too, but it didn't feel like it all the time. Driving around the highway in GTA 5 or flying over with a helicopter, it just felt so isolated from the world. And GTA 4 could feel like that too, but it felt wider. And the most interesting stuff was towards the middle, so your attention was always being brought back inward. GTA 5 didn't have that, so that's something I'm really hoping they fix in the next game. Thankfully, it's naturally going to be more horizontal with its wilderness already. I just hope Vice City feels as big as it should. Also, I kinda hope it isn't just an island. Like, I know it can't be endless, but let's say if GTA 5 had a huge desert up north or east. They could still have that you are too far from the action invisible barrier without it feeling like an isolated island. I think that alone could have solved some of the problems with the map. You don't even have to put anything out there any more than you'd put stuff at the bottom of the ocean. You could just have a highway or two disappearing over the horizon, and yeah, I'm a little confused why they didn't do that. Okay, let's stop talking about that. I got one more thing to mention, and that's machinima tools. GTA 4 and 5 had sort of in-game movie editors, and yeah, they weren't great. You still needed mods in order to do anything good with them. And there were some nice features, like making the characters' lips move and stuff, but if it was just given a little more love and attention, so more people were easily able to make their own movies, that would not only make people happier, but bring in more players. I knew people that bought Halo 3 back in the day specifically because they saw machinima. That's free advertising and keeps people playing your game longer. Why don't more games do this? Is it a copyright thing? Well, our copyright law is stupid anyway, but I'm pretty sure it comes down to the EULA in terms of service for each individual game, right? Either way, the law is stupid and we need more games with built-in machinima tools. Also, I had really detailed ideas for a comedy I was going to make, but never found the time or help I needed to do it. And in retrospect, with the animations being what they are, it wouldn't have been as good as I wanted. But if anyone is interested, I'll make a video explaining what could have been. So I think that's about it. I feel like I'm forgetting some stuff, but I'll just make more videos if it comes to that. So let me know what you all want in the next iteration of GTA Online. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and like. I'll see you later.